The word optic means something to do with the eye or vision. We're studying history, so we're going to use the acronym OPTIC to talk about things that we're looking at. O.P.T.I.C. That stands for Overview, Parts, Title, Interrelationships, and conclusion. Follow these steps and you can take nearly anything that you're looking at, anything that you're studying visually, and break it down into a greater meaning. You're trying to get an idea of what the visual was trying to portray and even evaluate how effective it was at making that message understood. You can use the OPTIC method with just about anything that you're able to visually look at. The more features that thing has, the more information you're going to get out of it. But you could use a sculpture, you could use a photograph, you could use a painting, you could use a tool, an artifact, something that came from the past that you are studying. You start with step one, which is overview. What is this about? What is this whole thing about? When you're doing step one, when you're doing the overview, you're going to describe it with just enough detail that someone who can't see it is going to understand what the main idea of it is. Step two, describing the parts. Okay, now you start moving around the picture and you want to divide the image into 4 different parts. Divide it up like so. I've got my frame. You're going to divide the image that you're looking at into 4 parts. They don't have to be equal sized parts. They could even be at different angles, whatever is fine. But you want to break it up. That helps you narrow down that you're not always focusing on just one corner of it, because there are corners that are going to give you details that you weren't expecting. As you look at the parts, you're building up what makes up the whole. You're going to identify all the things that you can see in those sections of the picture. Identify colors and textures and animals and plants and people, shapes, symbols. If you see tools, if you see building materials of various types, describe what you see. Step 3 is describe the title and the creator with the subtitle of Getting Ice. Now in very small print I can see that it says painted by C.H. Derrick. I think that's the name. It's really hard to read, but I know that it was published by Currier and Ives, and Currier and Ives, even though they weren't the actual painter of this, they were the publisher that was famous for just publishing these prints. So if you can't find the actual name of the artist, you can associate it with who was in charge of building it. And if you know some background information on who that is, or if you knew that it was a company, that would be valuable information to add into your understanding of this piece. Step 4 is interrelationships. Interrelationships. Look at how different things in the picture are related to each other. Step 5 is the conclusion. The conclusion, you're bringing it all together. You've already identified a relationship between this part and this part, a relationship between this part and this part, a relationship between this part and this part. Now you're bringing it all together. What is this whole thing about? What is a bigger message? Now you know what the title is. You've already given what the overview is. When we do an OPTIC, we're bringing in information that we already know or already think that we know in order to inform our analysis of a piece of art. Your exercise in using OPTICs to analyze pictures and artifacts should be a fun one. It should be a little bit of a detective hunt, trying to learn as much as you can from a picture. Once you start looking, you'll see things that you didn't see before. Have fun, guys.